What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. We have another banger for you guys, talking about one of our weapons from the Duality Dungeon, which gives us some just hanging weapons from it. Today, we are going to be talking about the Unforgiven Void SMG. Will it replace our Funnelweb? You'll have to watch and find out. I think it has very good potential here. So we're going to be going over both the PvP and PvE god rolls, because SMGs and PvP are actually kind of slapping. I have been enjoying it, pairing it with like my Eye of Soul sniper, and then in PvE this thing definitely holds a very special spot, I think, with our Void 3.0 synergy. So first off, for our PvP god roll for this bad boy, I'm going to go with small bore so we can get increased stability and range. Just when I felt like I was shooting it, it definitely could use that range on it, and stability helps a good amount inside a Crucible, keeping that bounce from going up and down too much. Now, as always, right here, we're going to go with ricochet rounds in our second slot once again for range and stability. If you get a high caliber round that gives you just range, not too bad, because it does help flinch those enemies as well, but definitely be looking for ricochet rounds in that second slot. Now for me, I'm going to go with well-rounded in this slot right here. So throwing a grenade or hitting a target with a charged melee grants stacked handling, stability, and range to this weapon. And it's about 10 for each of those for 10 seconds, which is super nice because you can literally just throw a grenade. You don't even have to hit anybody with it. And with your hitting a target with a charged melee, having something like Hunter where you can dodge and get your melees back super fast, or using an exotic with 2 charged melees, this thing gets procced a decent amount, and it helps a lot inside a Crucible. Now for the last slot for me, I'm going to go with Frenzy so we can just get that little bit of increased damage, handling, and reload speed when we're inside a combat, and it does proc decently easy inside a Crucible unless you're dying super fast. But it is a very good perk for that extra little bit of damage. And like I said, with that range on this weapon is lacking. Not that this will help too much, but having that extra damage helps us beam people and do a little bit more just in general, take them down faster than when we wouldn't have Frenzy procced. Now, really for me, where this thing shines, as you've seen in the background gameplay as we're going over these, I definitely think its PvE capabilities are better than its PvP, but not overwhelmingly better. It just has a couple combination of perks and a new perk that pairs well, super great with that Void 3.0, so we're going to be going over that as well. Now for our main barrel, again, I think I'm going to go with small bore. I love that range and stability that this gives, just like I was saying for PvP. This thing definitely needs that range. It feels like it just doesn't reach out far enough in some situations, and that stability with a little bit more rapid fire in a 750 SMG is nice to have, so you can keep it where you're aiming and it's not bouncing all over the place. Now in our second slot, I am going to go with appended mag or extended. Once again, this is a personal preference. If you go with extended, you're going to get more bullets inside of the magazine, but you're going to reload a little bit slower. And then if you go with appended mag, you're going to have a little bit faster reload, but have a few less bullets inside of the magazine. Me personally, I'm a big appended mag fan. Now for our third slot, there's a couple different options that I'm going to go with. First off, we're going to go with Demolitionist. I think that is the best one for this slot, especially if we're pairing it with Adrenaline Junkie in our fourth slot, which is also super good. Not the perk that I was talking about that pairs well with Void, but in general, this is one of the better PvE perks for that extra damage, because you get it on grenade kills stacked immediately or on each individual defeat with the weapon, and that pairs perfectly with Demolitionist, which gives us grenade ammo when we're actually defeating enemies with the weapon, and then it reloads our weapon when we throw our grenade. So that combo right here is pretty S tier in my personal opinion. Now you can also go with Feeding Frenzy in this third slot, just because getting those rapid kills with this weapon will have you be able to reload super fast at the end of it. So it doesn't matter really how many bullets you have in the magazine, you're going to be reloading almost instantly when you get that Feeding Frenzy stacked all the way up to the top for the reload speed. Now, like I said earlier, in the fourth column, definitely Adrenaline Junkie is a go-to, especially if you're pairing it with Demolitionist, just because of that extra damage that Adrenaline gives us. But I do want to go over this Repulsor Brace right here, because I think this is a very specific and special perk for our Void 3.0 synergy, which is defeating a target that has a Void debuff grants us an overshield. And when you're pairing that with something like our Titan that has 2 throwing shields with the second chance arms, we can create volatility on a lot of different enemies without actually defeating them if you're throwing it in some different waves of adds. And then you can get defeats with this Repulsor Brace on, and you get that nice overshield, which is about 45-ish HP for an overshield for 8 seconds, which is a good amount of time inside of the game. Now, it is a little specific, which having to spread that debuff first with volatility or weakened, whatever it may be, but there are multiple ways to do it with our aspects and fragments, like weakening via our grenade, and then also creating that volatility with void abilities, so grenade or melee, and then being able to just stack some things like mods that give us back melee energy, grenade energy when we do damage with vice versa. We can stack those up pretty well and be able to get a nice overshield pretty consistently when we have this bad boy on there. I really like it on the one that I have been using throughout the game. Now, I did say it is pretty specific, so it might not be for everybody. Definitely the more popular perk is Adrenaline Junkie in this slot, but for me, I think a nice special role with this Repulsor's Brace is super good for that Void synergy specifically. And if you're going out there to make some fun builds, definitely go in and try to grab you one of these with Repulsor's Brace, because like I said, super fun, very good with getting you that overshield for Void. So that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy these kinds of videos with going over god rolls for PvP, PvE for weapons, especially when they have specific special perks like this Repulsor's Brace for this SMG here. And it's nice to just go over some of our new seasonal weapons that we got inside of that Duality Dungeon. So thank you guys again so much for that support lately. Truly means a lot to me. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.